Hey, what's up, folks? It's me, Kendall Desmond, here with a new season, new episode of the Nerdvana Experience for the year of 2025. I took all of January and most of December off to, to take a vacation, get myself together before I came back out with a new season. I'm recording this on January 30th. I was supposed to start back recording T&E and posting in February, but I couldn't wait to get back, and there's a lot of stuff that I want to talk about. Okay, first of all, I want to say welcome back to everybody who is a reoccurring listener. I want to say welcome to all the new listeners who discovered TNE. And for those who don't know, who new here, every season of this show, I always do a Let's Talk episode. And I'm gonna start. This is gonna be my Let's Talk for the season. And this is gonna be the first episode of the season. Let's talk, and I just talk about stuff that go on in my everyday life, my personal life, and shit like that. All right. With that being said, another thing, people who've been around, who've been listening to the show, always know that I use this platform as a form of therapy, right? And a lot of stuff been going on with me personally lately, and I really don't have nobody to talk to about what I'm feeling. So I'm just gonna express myself on my platform. Okay, so the last past 48 hours in my life has been so fucking crazy, right? One of my brothers, he's known for lying about a lot of stuff and then playing victim when shit don't go his way, right? And usually I stay out of this main business. Like when anything that comes down to my brother and all that type of shit, any of my brothers, my friends and shit, when it come down to whatever girl they talk to, I stay out there shit because it don't got nothing to do with me. But this nigga, my brother, he lied so much about a lot of stuff to the point where like I have no choice but to clear my name. I have no choice but to be honest about the situation. So, bro was going with this girl and all that type of shit. She doing everything for him, buying him clothes, setting him up to get an apartment for him to help him get a car, doing all this shit. And my brother really don't have much. Not saying that, not talking about him, but he really don't have much. And so for a woman who is willing to fuck with you on that level, nigga, you gotta be grateful for that shit. So fast forward, this man got caught cheating. I ain't gonna go into a lot of detail because, like I said, a lot of stuff is still embarrassing to my family, and I don't think it's fair for my family for me to put that out. But fast forward, he got caught cheating, and some shit happened, and the girl ended up calling me, his girlfriend, ended up calling me on Facebook Messenger and asked me. She was like, "Who was Dime?" I'm like, "That's my brother's old girlfriend." What the like? So we just started going through shit, and then when she started telling me stuff like he done lied on me. He lied on my mama, made it seem like my mama tortured him when he was little. Made it seem like he just lied about a lot of shit. And the thing that be pissing me off about, bro, when he get called out on his lies, he played a victim. And he doubled down on his lie. Instead of just being real, be like, you know what? Hey, I fucked up. I don't know why I lied about this shit. Instead of just being real like that, they just I don't know. He just on some bullshit. And then my cousin, she on some bullshit, calling my phone, talking all that bullshit when I ain't did shit to her. When she was going through her little situation, and back in November, I was calling her to check on her and shit. But she called my phone on some hot shit, and I'm like, bruh, I don't know what you talking about. So like everything, like every time every time something come up, Corey, your name in it. Why my name in it? Because I'm the only one telling the truth. I tell the truth, and they get mad because I'm telling the truth. That's why I don't like about this whole situation. I tell the truth and they get mad about everything. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I ain't tripping. Because now I'm at the point now where I know what I did for my family. Look, ever since my brother got in trouble back in the day, before my mama passed away, my family, including me, did some of everything to help this nigga. Like, I had real deal back problems and could barely stand up straight. And it was hurting to sit down in my car to even drive for periods of time. But I made sure I got up every morning, took him to work, picked him up from work, and all that type of shit. And he wrecked my my back was hurting so bad at one point that I had just picked him up from work. I was like, man, I can't, man. My back hurting so fucking bad. And the girl he was with at the time had a job interview, and I was gonna go get her, but I was in so much pain I couldn't do it. And I never let nobody drive my car. I had my car 5 years, and I never had a wreck and only 2 tickets. Never let nobody drive my car. I was like, man, look, he asked me to go pick her up. I'm like, man, look, my back hurts so bad, but look, here you go. You can go drive and pick her up. 5 minutes later, this nigga FaceTime me and my car turned upside down in the ravine. And he told me to my face when he came into the house, I'm not giving you no money because I'm finna save him get my own car. After he had fucked up my car. So to this day, he ain't tried to pay me back nothing. He ain't even try to be like, here, fool. He going $100. I know I don't got much. Like, he ain't even try to offer nothing. Like, nothing. They straight up told me to my face, hey, fuck your car. I'm finna give me my own shit. Because I can't be without transportation. That's exactly what he told me at Bro House. So I'm like, damn, fool. Like, after all the shit I done for you, after all the shit my family done for you, you still sit here lying and throwing us up under the bus. And I told my brother the other day when I talked to him, look, until you get your shit together, learn how to stop lying and learn how to live righteously by your folks, bro. Don't bring my name up and shit, bro. Because every time I hear something from somebody that he like, every time somebody be like, man, you hear what Sandoran said about you? I'm like, nah, what he say? And then they go into detail talking about what he done said about me. I'm like, damn, fool. Like, I was just talking to the nigga. He ain't say none of that shit on the phone with me. Like, he always throw me up on the bus and say some of the most foulest shit to me. I mean, about me. So I'm like, you know what, bro? You got it. I don't want to deal with that shit no more. Everybody know me. Like, everybody know I love all my sisters and brothers equally. But my brothers, they be making me mad because they listen too late. One of my brothers, he just hard headed and got his mind made up on what he want to do, so he in some trouble. But the brother that I'm talking about that's lying all the time, he just a liar. And my mama used to always say he was a habitual liar. She used to always say that shit. When your mama call you that, that's how you know you lie too much. Because parents know their kids, especially if they involved and they raise them. Parents know their kids. So I'm like, bro, I want to get into detail so like a lot of this shit can make sense to y'all. But like I said, it won't be fair to my family to go into that detail and tell every single thing. It's not right to people in my family. So I'm just not gonna go there. But what I am gonna say is, I know he might end up hearing this episode, bruh. Like I told you on the phone, until you stop lying about shit, until you stop bullshitting and throwing your family and folks up under the bus, until you start doing right by your kids, until you start living righteously, like being a man about shit, we don't got shit to talk about. We ain't got shit to talk about. So, yeah, I had to get that off my chest within the first couple minutes of the new year of TNE. But moving on from that negativity, because now I know y'all heard the saying, "You are the company you keep," right? When you surround yourself with people who like minded like you, whatever the environment that y'all in and y'all thinking like, y'all gonna be in the environment. So, for instance, let's just say it's a bunch of niggas around that don't do nothing but nigga shit, and all y'all want to do is just sit around, smoke, and fuck on girls all day and just do street shit. That's when y'all gonna be at. Y'all ain't gonna never elevate. Y'all gonna be in the street just fucking on random women, got kids that work in and out of jail. Versus if you surround yourself with people who want to elevate and make money and do content and shit, all y'all coming around each other, bouncing off ideas off top of each other, grinding, trying to make it to the next level. Eventually, out of somebody is gonna elevate somebody, and then when that person elevates, you bring up the other person that's with you. Like y'all, it's a team effort. Like you surround yourself with like-minded people to elevate and grow and evolve, and that's what life is about. You can't. just sit around and just do shit. So I'm at the point now where I don't want nothing but straight positive people around me, and I don't want to hear no bullshit. I don't want to hear no negative shit because I realize, bro, at the end of the day, you are responsible for your life. Your decisions that you make, the like everything that you do, you're responsible for. I'm 32 years old now. I was getting discouraged by my age. I was like, man, I'm too old. I should have been made some amount of myself. I supposed to been doing this. I supposed to been doing that. I supposed to been doing this. But then I sit back and look at success stories. Like this one man, I be forgetting his name. He was like he failed over and over and over again. And by the time he hit 34, that's when he realized what he was doing wrong. And he started making the adjustments, and he ended up coming to some money and shit like that. So I'm like, okay, it ain't too late. So my dad tell me all the time, hey, it ain't too late, but you are running out of time. And he be scaring me when he be saying that shit, but it's the truth. So I'm like, all right, I see what you're saying, old man. I got you. So this is what I want to do. Having conversations, talking to people, being on, doing stuff with media and my podcast and type shit like that. So that's why I record TNE the way I do. With that being said, this year I'm gonna start recording video and having it on YouTube, on my YouTube channel and stuff like that, because I think it's important to have audio and video, like visuals. I'm gonna tell you something. Me and Raquel, she's been a guest on the show multiple times. We've been going back and forth when it comes down to politics. We've been talking about today. We talked about it all last night. And she make it seem like that I'm for Donald Trump. It's okay to have your own mindset. See, me, I'm an independent thinker. I don't have an allegiance to no political party. I'm not a Democrat or I'm not a Republican. I'm not a libertarian. I'm not part of the Green Tea Party. I'm not none of that shit. I'm independent. I think independently. Now, if the Republican do something that I agree with, I'm gonna be like, hey, I fuck with that. I agree with that. If the Democrat do something that I agree with, I'm gonna like, hey, I fuck with it. But for the past couple of years, the Democratic Party been on a decline, and a lot of stuff that Donald Trump is implementing in the executive orders, I agree with. So like, people be like, why is he doing this? Is only a two gender thing and all that type of shit. I was telling Raquel earlier today. I don't care what a person identify as. I really don't. I don't care if a person transgender. I don't care if a person gay, bisexual. I don't care about none of this shit. Because at the end of the day, I'm not in the bedroom with you when y'all doing the stuff that y'all doing. So I really don't care. What I draw the line at is when the youth get involved, when the kids get involved, giving kids puberty blockers and shit like that. That's why I be drawing the line at. And when I say that, folks be looking at me like I'm crazy. I be like, bro, I know I'm not crazy. And I tell myself all the time, I be talking to myself, I'm like, okay, so and is what I'm thinking really that bad? Because social media and society have you thinking that like if you go against anything they have something to do with the LGBTQ community, you automatically on some bullshit. You automatically uh 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 a hater. Automatically think that. But I'm like, damn, it's y'all right to live in y'all truth, but how come it's not my right to live in my truth? And that's when I be like, bro, them all be understanding this shit for like, cause like, and I tell people all the time when it come down to these executive orders and these bills that's being published, I'm like, hey, don't just run with what you see on social media, because like they'll be like, Trump is taking away the rights, Trump is taking away EBT and stuff for people who need it. But then you go look at the bill and shit. It don't say nothing like that. And then I'll be like, bruh, where the fuck did y'all get this shit from? And it just be throwing me off. Like, as a matter of fact, let me read some of the testaments that what me and Raquel talked about earlier today. Let me go to it. Cause we woke up this morning and was on one. All right. Um. All right. So it started with I sent her this. I sent her this video on Twitter, and like I just said, when it come down to the children, I don't really too much like kids being involved in some shit. So let me just bring this up. Let me just bring this up because I want y'all to hear what like cause this is the video I sent Raquel. We gonna do this. All right. So this the video I sent her, and it's supposed to be about a child receiving gender affirming care. So listen to this. I'm gonna play it.
Good morning, Madam Chairwoman and members of the committee. I am a volunteer with Equality Kansas, but I'm here today on behalf of my family. I'm a mother of 4. I'm a Kansan, and 2 of my children are receiving gender affirming care. My son has always been the happiest child I've ever known. Since he was a toddler, we called him Sunshine for his infectious joy. However, when he was 10 in 4th grade, that all changed. He began waking up in tears, and I would have to physically carry him into school while he was fighting me to avoid going. That winter, we discovered cuts on his arms and legs. He admitted that he was cutting himself with scissors. We locked up all sharp objects in our house, and still I found cuts. My son admitted that he was going to the restroom at school and cutting himself there. A safety plan was put in place, and still, months later, the school called me and said that they could no longer keep him safe. He was admitted to a psychiatric hospital as a suicide risk. It was the worst feeling as a parent to know that I could not keep my child safe from his own pain. After diagnosis and medications, our son began to recover. We will never forget the day he came home from school and told us he had the best day ever. And it was simply because he asked his class to call him by a new name and told them he was a boy. After his mental health was stabilized, he was diagnosed with gender dysphoria. And we sought a doctor who specializes in this care. Today, my son knows who he is.
I'm so sorry. Thank you.
Now, with that, I sent Raquel that video, and she texted me because the first thing I thought when I watched it was because I'm thinking she talking about her son, but she actually in reality she have a daughter that said they identified as a boy, and they didn't start. They were cutting this. She was cutting herself and all that type of shit until she went and got diagnosed and talking about she was the happiest she ever been because people started calling her by a new name and all that type of shit. 10 years old. So as I sent it to Raquel, and she tells me back, she was like, so in this case, how is it wrong that the child was receiving gender affirming care? Not saying I agree with it. See, that's the problem that I be having because like when it come down to I'm not conservative, but I am at the same time. I told her I stand on shit that's morally right. Right? So I don't care about folks' feelings. I care about the big picture. the overall point of like, so like, for instance, if we see a kid that's cutting on herself, I don't care about the fact if she's trying to identify as a boy or girl. You get down to the point, you go down to the root and be like, why are you cutting on yourself? And then you try to go from there. Like, you try to stop that from happening. Because what if she end up cutting herself and hit an artery and she pass away? You fix that problem first, then you start dealing with the other shit. So Raquel was like, so in this case, how is it wrong that the child was receiving gender affirming care? Not saying I agree with it. I personally would have tried therapy first, but they had a mental disorder which was spiraling into a harmful pattern. In this case, it feels like the hormones are just like any other medicine. It probably was a tough decision made by the parents, the medical professional, and the child themselves. Bruh, I don't know why that slick made me, I don't know, it didn't make me feel some type of way, but it did. I'm like, bruh, I'm not trying to hear, because the lady sat here and said the kid was cutting on himself and everything. Then they went to a therapist and they found out she had a mental disorder and she had gender dysmorphia. I don't even know. I don't know what that is. I think that's when you have like disassociation with your gender, right? So I asked her. I was like, all right. So going by that logic, so every child that thinks they're the opposite sex has a mental disorder, because that's what the lady sat here and said. She went to a therapist, got diagnosed with a mental disorder that is gender dysphoria. So she continued to say, we don't know, and it's like it's something that can be reversed. And I said the child was 10 years old. Why is she trying to be a boy anyway? Raquel replied to me, in her mind, she is a boy. She said that they were diagnosed with a mental illness that's causing it. And it goes back to what I said. Kids that think they're a different sex than what they're born, is that a mental illness? Because if it is, now you're having a different conversation. Now it's a completely different conversation. So I go on and say, so all the kids that think they're a different gender got a mental illness? Sounds about right to me. So she texts me back. Again, we don't know what kind of talks they all had. Me personally, I would have talked to my daughter to figure out what's going on. This is where having a good relationship with your kids come in. If she told me how she felt, I could probably make her feel more comfortable. We could tell her it's called being a tomboy and it's perfectly fine. Let her have a cool nickname, wear less girly clothes, and call it a day. I personally would not have jumped into hormones, but I don't know what their family or what they're dealing with. Parents are allowed to parent how they see fit, as long as they aren't killing them or causing unnecessary harm. This is where I push back at. We had a conversation yesterday. If your 8-year-old son come to you and be like, I'm a girl, it's your job to be like, what makes you think you a girl? Like, why you say you a girl? And you have a conversation with your child. And by you being a parent, like she just sat here and said in a text message, you parent how you see fit, right? So you supposed to be like, okay, you're not a girl, you're a little boy. And by you being a little boy, this is how you operate and all that type of shit. Now I ain't gonna sit here and be like, you a boy, go play football. You a little boy, go do this. You a little boy, go do bullshit. Nah, I'm gonna strictly tell them, you're a boy, you're not a girl. You were born a boy. You wasn't born a girl. That's how I see fit. So then the problem, and then if you wanted a parent to be like, okay, you're a little girl, and then you go to the doctor or whatever, and you start giving that kid estrogen and puberty blockers and everything, doing all this shit to chemically reshape how they are biologically. That's harming them. I've seen plenty of videos and stories about people who transition, their parents made them transition too early, and they hate it because they were just going through a phase. I've seen plenty of videos like that. That's why it's important to make that child who feel that way wait till they get old enough to make their own decisions. To me, when you're 16, you still can't make your own decisions. You still a dumbass kid to me. I did plenty of dumb shit when I was 16 years old. Shit, I did plenty of dumb shit when I was 18 years old. But at least when you're 18 years old, you're legally allowed to make whatever decisions you want to make on your own. So if my son or daughter came to me saying some shit like that, all the way up to the point they hit 18, I'm like, nah, you were born this is what you are. Then when you're 18 years old, whatever you decide to do with yourself, know what you decide to do with yourself. Because I'm still not gonna agree with it, but I'm not gonna disown you or not let you come to my house or none of that type of shit. You just live your life. However you live, that's how you want to live it. Because at the end of the day, you got to deal with whatever decision that you make for yourself. So I continue to text Raquel. I texted back. I said, all that cutting and slicing on yourself is a real problem because you could possibly die from that. And she goes to say, true. That's why I would hope they all had a good talk before doing all this. And that's when I had went into my point about the gay agenda. When I was growing up, I was born in 1992. When I was growing up, of course it was gay people around. Of course it was transgender people around. On Disney Channel, I remember watching plenty of TV shows on Disney Channel. I'm a Disney Channel kid. I remember watching Disney Channel all day. It's just seeing kid stuff. That's So Raven, Lizzie McGuire, Even Steven, Kim Possible, The Proud Family. I'm just seeing regular kid stuff. Like it wasn't no sexual, like nothing in the kids TV show. Not unless it was like a little kiss or something, but that really wasn't nothing. Nowadays in cartoons, that's all across the board. You got cartoons showing kids having two daddies, two mamas. You seeing kids in the background, two boys kissing each other, two girls being together. Like, why put that imagery in kids' heads? Because what's the old saying? You ain't born being racist, you taught racism. So let's just say a white kid born, clean slate, white baby, clean slate, not knowing nothing. But all these years growing up in the formative years from the age of 0 to 5 years old, all they see is they people being racist. Now all of a sudden, they doing racist shit and not even realizing that they racist. They just doing what they see. It's the same thing putting their agenda and shit in the cartoons and the TV shows. The kids, they watching the show because they like the show. It's their favorite show. Now all of a sudden, they see two boys kissing in the background. The boy be like, I want to kiss a boy too because I seen it on the show. Some kids are influenced like that. Not saying that all kids are like that, but some are. They want to do that because they seen it in a show that they like. Or they seen their favorite entertainer do it. So that's why I say kids are innocent. Like you shouldn't, anything dealing with sexual orientation should not be inside of kids' TV shows. None whatsoever. At all. And I'm completely like I stand 10 toes down on that. Because I believe a kid should be able to watch TV and just be a kid. Like back then, I couldn't watch South Park growing up. Because even though it was animated and it was a cartoon, it was geared towards more like adults. Even in the Proud Family on Disney Channel, it's his character named Michael. He always hung around Penny and all the main characters and shit. He was a boy, but he was always hanging around all the girls. He used to act like a girl. He never dressed like a girl, but he used to act like a girl. And he used to wear a sweatshirt with his shoulder out, with shorts and a headband on. They never said he was gay in the cartoon. They never even insinuated that he was gay. He just acted like a girl and he was just friends with them. But the grown people who sat there and watched this show be like, that little boy gay. But the kids watching it won't even think that because he's just another character in the show. Fast forward a couple years later, Proud Family come back to Disney Channel. The same character I was just telling you about, Michael, he's a whole girl now. He dressed like a whole girl. And I'm like, they ain't even have to do that. But All right, I see why they did it, but they ain't have to do that. So I told Raquel the gay agenda is too much. It wasn't like that when we were growing up, and she was like, I think it was, but they were being killed and mistreated, and the lack of technology that allows us to share and see things in the instant didn't exist. So like, you really think gays and drag queens are new? We're advancing, and it's difficult for older people, or rather people with a set mindset, to accept it. All it is newer and more advanced technology. And by technology, I'm including the medical field. Bruh, I never said that it wasn't no such thing as gay people. I just sat here and said it was gays back then. Bisexual, transgenders, everybody back then. It just wasn't pushed as much as it is now. I understand that people look, if a transgender person and gay people want to have equal right, perfect, cool. You as a human being have the right to be able to go to the doctor and get whatever medical care that you need done in order to keep you healthy. I'm all 100% for that. I never said I was against this shit. I always said I stood firm against that type of shit when it come down to kids and young people. And it just pushed everywhere. Like I said, keep that shit out of kids' cartoons and kids' shows and shit. And I go on to say in the text message, nah, it ain't new, but it's pushed everywhere. It ain't. I said, nah, it ain't new, but it wasn't pushed everywhere like how it is now. I'm all for folks being who they want to be, but young folks don't be old enough to make those crucial decisions, which they don't. Young people need parents and guardians to make certain decisions for them because we know what's best for them most times. Most times. And as a father, I don't have children yet, but as a father, I would make whatever decision I have to make and stand by that junk to make sure that my kids have the best upbringing and be in the right circumstances, whether it comes to education, everyday life, or anything. It's my job to make the decisions for them because their brain don't have the capacity to make the smart decision for themselves yet. Now, when they become an adult, it's different. We're gonna have our back and forth because at the end of the day, I'm still gonna think what's right for them is right for them. But them being their own person, they have their own mind, they're being grown and lived enough, they were like, well, it's my life. I know what's best for me. And I expect them to be like that towards me. Like, don't just listen to everything that I say when you're a grown person and able to make sound decisions. Make whatever decision is best for you. So Raquel go on to say, I agree, but again, it only seems like it's only being pushed because media is so easy to distribute now. And because of that, it comes out faster and in higher volume. We're a country learning to accept our people, and we come in several variations. The same thing is happening to black people. Every time a character is casted as black people, every time a character is casted as a black person, people are in an uproar, especially if their character was presented as white at first. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I'm part of them people that be in an uproar because, like, for instance, the Little Mermaid, Ariel was a white mermaid with red hair. Halle Bailey didn't need to be casted as Ariel. You know what I'm saying? Just because she know how to sing real good don't mean she had to be Ariel. I really did believe that, bruh, it's somebody in the world right now that look just like Ariel did and can sing just as well as Ariel did. And she would have been the perfect person to play Ariel in the Little Mermaid remake. Perfect. She would have been the perfect person. When it come down to, like, for instance, if they would have made Idris Elba James Bond, or Black James Bond, I would have never liked that shit. Because the whole time, James Bond already has an identity. He's already James Bond. He's a white man from England. Like, that's already his identity. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with being a person of color or any other race that liking James Bond. There's nothing wrong with it. The issue is make a new IP for a black character. Like it could have been a spinoff of anything. Like 007 worked for the for agency. It could have been another one of the agents that worked for the same agency that he worked in and made a spinoff from that agency, and that could have been the new double O agent, and he had his own name, his own identity, and everything. It didn't have to be James Bond. That's why I like Princess and the Frog so much, because Tiana, they made her black, but she wasn't. It wasn't the whole focus of her being black. You know what I'm saying? Tiana is an original Disney princess. She's a black princess. She's an original IP for Disney. And that's how it's supposed to be. And now she's a Disney princess. Like every time you come out with Disney princess stuff, she's right up there with Ariel and Cinderella and Aurora and all them. Tiana is right there. And that's how it's supposed to be. Same thing with Moana. Moana is a girl of color from the islands of Samoa and all that type of shit. And she's right up there with her. So like, you can make characters that's black and of a color and don't have to change the identity of existing IPs and characters. You can do that. Ain't nothing wrong with it. So what I'm getting, the point that I'm getting at is, when it comes down to the LGBTQ community, I'm all for y'all having y'all rights. I'm all for y'all having y'all rights. I'm not part of that community, so I don't even know what all rights that you are fighting for. But I did an episode last year about the Trump administration where people were like, Trump is taking away the rights, and I went to a part of my podcast where gay people that's part of the LGBTQ community specifically said they not afraid of the Trump. You know what? It'll be better for me just to go to the website, like go to their episode. So I'm gonna go to an episode that I did not too long ago, and let me share my screen. So the name of the episode that I did, it was back in November on the 14th. Biases, lies, and truth. The 2025 Trump administration, right? So I'm finna go to. It's a part of the episode where LGBTQ members share their feelings and facts about their rights.
I'm not afraid of losing my rights because I understand that Donald Trump is not interested in taking any rights away from LGBTQ adults, but rather he is ready to wage war against these adults who have been harming and indoctrinating this country's children.
Ain't I been saying this shit for the last past 37 minutes? I've been saying that for the last past 37 minutes. It's all about the kids.
How about you?
Oh, me? No, I'm not worried because when he was president, he stood up at the UN and demanded that homosexuality be decriminalized worldwide. Didn't they tell you about that on CNN? No? Oh, well, yeah, that happened. What about you?
I'm not afraid for my gay rights because Trump has already been our president. And last time he was our president, he had Republican control of the House and the Senate, and he still didn't do anything to our gay rights. How about you?
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about losing any rights under a Trump presidency as a gay woman. How are you going to tell me he's against gay people when he literally had a gay wedding at his own house? How about you?
See, they don't talk about that. They always talk about Trump and taking away the LGBTQ rights and shit, but this man had a gay wedding at Trump Manor. They don't talk about that.
I am not afraid for my rights under Trump's presidency because President Trump appointed Richard Grenell, who became the first openly gay man to hold a cabinet level position. I wouldn't consider that taking rights away. I think that's providing opportunity where it's never been given before. How about you?
Did y'all forget that he was the first ever U.S. president to enter office? Actually, even before he was entering the office, to be pro-LGBT.
Yeah, we're good.
Man, see, so I went to, like, cause the thing about it, when I did that episode last year, I did a bunch of research. I found articles, I found videos. I did a lot of research because I want to like debunk the bullshit. I want to expose the lies and the biases between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. That's not even me just being like, okay, I'm pro Trump or anything like that. Nah. I just want to like show people that like stop going with a narrative that you see on social media and go do research yourself. So that's why I say against this shit. I even said it back then. I'm all for people of age doing what they want to do with their life and body, but leave the fucking kids alone. I said, you heard me say it. I had been talking about it for 35 minutes. I just want the kids to be straight. What is this? Teacher assistant tries to indoctrinate young kids. Let's see what this is about. All right. So, listen to this.
How am I going to explain trans people to my kids? Well, I am a TA in kindergarten class, and I explained it to them today. So, people were wondering if I was a boy or a girl. And so they asked me, one of the kids said, Bernie, are you a boy or a girl? And I said, that's a great question. I'm kind of in between. And he was like, what? No, are you a boy or a girl? And I was like, well, are you a boy or a girl? And he's like, I'm a boy. And what do you think Lisette is? I think Lisette's a girl. Cool. So some people are boys, some people are girls, and some people can be in between, or they can be neither. Most people are boys or girls, and sometimes people switch from one to the other. What? You mean I could be a girl? Yeah, you could be a girl if you wanted to.
See, I got to pause right there. Because if a teacher told my son that he can be a girl if he wanted to, I would be... I'd be so fucking mad, bro. Because what she should have did was directed that conversation, like, you're a boy, uncle, like, all she had to do was like, I'm who I am. Like, whatever she identified as, if she identified as non-binary, she could have said, I am who I am. She didn't even have to go into the pronouns or nothing like that, and could have directed that child to a different type of conversation. But instead, she's trying to indoctrinate my child.
Right now? Yeah, if you wanted to, you could say, I'm a girl. And if you wanted, I could call you by a different name and call you she. And he was like, but I don't want to be a girl. And I said, that's great. That means you're a boy. And I'll call you by your name and use he. And he said, okay.
So are you still confident in this comment that no teacher would be doing this? You would think it doesn't happen. You would hope it doesn't happen because conversations like this should not be taking place between teachers and students. I don't understand how there weren't red flags going off during the hiring process of this one, but you do not have to search far and wide to find people that are more interested in indoctrinating rather than educating. So yes.
So you know what I'm saying? That motherfucker wasn't trying to educate that child. It's all about indoctrination, and that's what I'm not with. That's what I'm not with, bro. I'm not with this shit at all. I'm like I said, I'm all for a grown person being whoever they be. I'm all for whoever. Like I said it many times on this episode alone. I'm for you being you. I don't care what you want to be. If you want me to address you as a woman and you were born a biological male, that's cool. I would do that out of respect for you. So when it come down to kids that's real impressionable and they don't really know what's going on, don't do that shit to them. I don't like that type of shit. And I'm not with this shit. I never liked this shit. So yeah, so like I said, that episode is episode season 6, episode 6. The biases, lies, and truth of the 2025 Trump administration. I got it in different chapters. I named all the different chapters what I talked about in the episode. Cause I did a lot of research before I even did it, and I did all types of research, so I wouldn't be sounding stupid. And I had the evidence. Like each time I did something, I had the evidence and the source from where I got it from. But yeah. So this the first episode of season. What is it? 7. Whew. Yeah, I guess this let's talk. I'm back at it, y'all. I'm back at it. Y'all just gotta give me time, work with me. Consistency is the theme of the year. Just stay consistent. Do what we gotta do. I want to have more people on here, but I don't know how I'm gonna go about having people on TNE. That's something I'm still working out. But as for right now, I appreciate everybody who tuned in to listen to my show, listen to my past episode, listen to my future episode, listen to this episode. I appreciate y'all. And until next time, peace.